Stop making me nervous. Go whenever? Okay. It is Wednesday, October 18th at 9 a.m. We are in the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center. My name is Sarah Drury. I'm interviewing Payton Douglas, and my interview assistant is Jeffrey Lipford. So, Payton, starting at the beginning, when and where did you grow up?
I was born in Aiken, South Carolina, and then my mom ended up moving to Oklahoma, where she's originally from. I grew up there.
Why did you guys move to Oklahoma?
That's where she was originally from, and she had moved to South Carolina with someone she was married to. So.
And why did you guys move back to Aiken?
She eventually wanted to get back out in this area, so she applied for jobs and eventually moved out here on her own.
Okay, and what was Oklahoma like?
It was windy, a lot of native people there, and it's not a bad place.
Did you enjoy growing up in Oklahoma, or would you have wished to grown up in Aiken?
I don't regret growing up there, but definitely kind of helped shape who I am as a person and stuff. So.
Can you tell us about your family?
Not close with my family. I'm really close to my mom. Most of my family lives back in Oklahoma, and I have a brother in Columbia, South Carolina, and that's all I got really.
Do you see your family often? That's from Oklahoma?
Probably once a year.
Once a year. What about your brother?
I see him every few months, probably.
What was your relationship with your mother like growing up?
We were pretty close. It was pretty much just her raising me by herself, and then she had married a guy, and he was in my life for a little bit, and then they ended up getting divorced. So mostly just single mother raising me.
Was that hard, losing that father figure?
Not really.
Are you still close with your mother, or has the relationship dwindled?
We don't hang out often because he's so busy with work, and I work too and have school. So we text probably a couple times a month, but that's about it.
Are you close with your half brother Philip?
Yes.
Was there anyone in your family who had an influence on your decision to enlist?
I had a cousin. I was younger when he was just graduating from boot camp, and kind of looked up to him as a brother because I was around him more often. But that kind of inspired me to want to go into military, Marine Corps. So.
What did your mom say when you decided to tell her that you wanted to enlist?
She was scared at first, and then became supportive.
And she's been supportive since?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kinds of activities were you involved in during high school?
Played football, ran track. I was actually on the cross-country team a couple of years, and then we had like a bowling league. So I was on the bowling league and part of the Native American club. So.
Nice. What is your religion?
Probably claim Methodist or Baptist, either one.
Is that the same as the rest of your family?
Or Methodist.
Would you say you're just as religious or more or less since being an active member of the military?
I'd say less.
Less? Okay, why is that?
Probably just been more, I guess, busy, more things going on, not really focused on.
Okay. What year in high school did you know that you wanted to enlist?
9th grade.
9th grade? Wow, that's young. What was it about the military that appealed to you?
Challenge, I guess, the camaraderie, the sense of pride you get, working, getting stuff done together, and all going through the same thing, I guess.
Okay. Have you always been super athletic?
Probably more after middle school and high school was when I really blossomed.
Okay. Blossomed. Okay. How old were you when you enlisted?
I was 18 years old.
So that's coming out of high school, or is senior year?
Right after high school.
Right after high school. Why did you decide to enlist?
It was just an aspiration I'd had, and then I had another buddy, one of my classmates, who was also doing the same thing, and I was a little nervous, hesitant on doing it, and I had a buddy push me and made me go to the recruiter's office, and finally made that decision. So.
Were you nervous walking into the office?
Of course.
What was the reaction of your friends? You spoke briefly about your mom's kind of reaction.
My friends were all pretty excited and supportive, and I got a lot of good notes and stuff and letters from friends kind of encouraging me.
What about your half-brother?
I don't think I was close with him at the time, so he didn't realize but I was doing that until I was after I was already in and stuff. So.
Okay. Moving on to boot camp, how would you describe that?
Very demanding and miserable.
Miserable.
That's all I can say.
What made it miserable?
Just the
All the
sleep deprived and just like the meals, you didn't have like adequate time to eat, and then you're just constantly on your feet moving, never sitting down, just running everywhere you go, and constantly being pushed to your limit, really. I mean,
what did a typical day look like in boot camp?
waking up at, we woke up at 5 in the morning. We'd have to get ready in like probably 15 seconds, and then we'd rush over to chow hall, eat breakfast, and then we'd either be out drilling or doing some kind of PT in the morning, and then after that we'd probably end up doing some kind of classroom courses, and then, yeah.
Was there ever a time during boot camp where you thought about quitting?
The first day.
The first day?
Yeah.
Not after that?
It got better because I knew there was, once as the days went by, the hours went by, I knew there was like a light at the end of the tunnel. So the first day was miserable, then you kind of just look forward to each meal, and it gets you through each day. So that's kind of what I look forward to, is chow. So.
Yeah. What was your drill instructor like?
Drill instructors were really hard on us, very intense, and I feel like they did a lot more work than the recruits did, because they're the ones having to lead us. They had to be in better shape than us, and had to be there 24/7 really, so they didn't sleep much or eat much as well. So.
What would you say was the hardest part of boot camp?
I'd say just like the culture shock at first, being somewhere alone and not having my mom there or a friend or something. But I had, the guys, the recruits I was with, my brother, so that was kind of got me through it. So.
Would you say that you made your closest friends during boot camp? Like, looking at your entire military experience.
I met some really good friends that I kept contact with, a couple after boot camp, but probably not my closest friends, but they were close while they were there. But after boot camp, we all went our separate ways, whether we got stationed somewhere or did something else. So we kind of all got estranged from each other.
Is there anything that you enjoyed at boot camp?
I think I enjoyed doing the hikes a lot.
Nice.
Did a lot of hikes throughout mountain ranges and stuff. So.
That's good. What are some myths that you could clarify associated with boot camp?
Like what?
Any big ones? Like, do they really get in your face and scream at you for things?
Yeah.
And like when you do something wrong, do they like make you drop and give however many push-ups, things like that? Those are.
They'll find something to do anywhere, where no matter where you're at, they'll find something to do that's really gonna punish you and make you hurt, like something that's gonna seem like it's impossible. Like they would tell us, they told us one recruit to get not in the push-up position, but they told him to get in the push-up position on the tip of his fingers. So if you can imagine, it's almost like not possible, because you're putting all of your body weight on your fingertips. So he literally made this recruit do this, and the recruit,
Wow.
It's not really possible.
What about like all the cleaning myths? Like, do they really make you clean as much as like it's portrayed in movies and such?
Yeah, we had to clean. Everything had to be polished, shined. We had to get on our hands and knees and scrub the floors every week, and every morning we'd have to sweep up a little dust buildup under our racks, and it was just a lot of cleaning. Everything had to be perfect, organized, squared away. So.
Did you interact with a lot of women in boot camp?
None.
Any? None? Okay. I was gonna ask if it was different for them.
It's
Any
just
different
males.
students?
The West Coast was just males. So.
Okay. Do you think boot camp changed you as a person, not just like physically? Obviously, it changes you.
I feel like it's made me more, I guess, confident person, more driven, motivated, and I know that if I can overcome one obstacle like that, then there's so much, other things I can do. So.
Okay. Did you have any other training after boot camp?
Went to School of Infantry, which was a follow-on school from boot camp, and then went to school in Virginia.
What did you do at those schools?
Just learn more about basic infantry stuff and more about my MOS and stuff. So.
Okay, so was that more like classroom structure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But also PT every day.
Okay. And how many years were those schools?
I think the SOI, school of entry, went long. It was about 2 months, and then my MOS school ended up being about 2 months, so they weren't long.
Okay. And you said along with the classroom structure you do PT. What exactly is PT?
Physical training, we do it every morning. That's just part of the routine. You wake up, whatever time they had us up, 4 or 5 or 6 in the morning. Rain or shine, we get up and whatever the instructor wanted to do that day, run or push-ups or pull-ups or whatever, some kind of circuit training.
Okay.
We do that.
So moving on into your service, where were you first stationed?
I was stationed Campbell June, North Carolina.
Okay. Did you stay there the entire time?
I was there, I checked in, and then I was there a couple months, and then they told me I was deploying, so I ended up going to 29 Palms, California.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I did pre-deployment training, and ended
Okay.
up deploying after that. So.
Pre-deployment training, was that similar to boot camp? Would you say it's harder?
No, it's more kind of an evolution kind of thing. It's most like you're doing more simulated things, like practical,
Okay.
pretty much training. It's like combat scenario stuff that you're doing.
Okay, so
But
more
also,
like
yeah.
more of the technicalities.
Yeah,
of, like,
getting you
the-
ready for what a deployment's like. It's supposed to be kind of like a deployment simulation kind of thing. So.
Were you ever deployed?
Yes.
Where were you deployed?
Afghanistan.
For how long?
6 months maybe.
6 months? What was that experience like?
It was exciting, but nerve-wracking.
What was the hardest like transition when you were there?
I'd say it was being far away from home.
How did your mom feel about you being deployed?
She was weary. She was probably nervous, and she probably stayed up worrying about me.
Mm-hmm. So you left from California to go over to Afghanistan, or
It
North
was
Carolina?
went from North Carolina, flew to California, then we flew back to North Carolina, and we got to go on leave for a little bit. So I got to come home, spend time with my mom for like a week, and
Before
then
you left.
ended up having to go back to North Carolina, and then we flew out from there.
And how many people did you fly out with, approximately?
It was our whole battalion, so it was probably close. I'd say around 400 or 500 from our unit. So.
Did you have any scary or life-threatening like scenarios in Afghanistan? Did you ever see like actual combat?
Yeah, I mean, we had like small arms fire here and there, and I had a few IEDs go off. One that actually was on one of my last missions at my truck had hit, so that was probably the scariest moment. Yeah.
What was your specific job?
I was a machine gunner.
A machine gunner?
I was part of attached to a security element, and we went on vehicle patrols out in Afghanistan, so I was just on top in the gunner's turret.
So on a typical day there, what did you do?
We would wake up, if we weren't on a mission, we were back staying in Camp Leatherneck,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd wake up PT or do vehicle maintenance, making sure everything was squared away for when we did have an upcoming mission, and if not, then I was out on a mission. We'd be out on the road for hours or days or weeks out on missions, just doing patrols from different bases and helping transport engineering and utility stuff. So.
And were you with this unit the entire time?
Mm-hmm.
What were the men and women like that were in your unit?
I mean, they were all different. I mean, there was a lot of guys. It was mostly guys in my platoon I was in, because it was a combat job, so it was only males allowed. But there's a lot of met a lot of cool people there. A lot of hardworking people. So.
Any lifelong friends?
I actually have a friend who I've kept in touch with since we deployed. He lives in Brooklyn, and he's really close. He's probably my best friend. He's the only person that I probably talk to every single day, and he's not even a local friend. So.
Okay. Did you have anyone from boot camp in your unit or battalion?
I don't think so. No.
Without boot camp training, could you have been successful in your unit?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think so. Why not?
Because I feel like boot camp was pretty much like the rite of passage, and it taught you the basic fundamentals, and it's where you become a Marine, where you learn like you can't you're not what you're going to be without boot camp. So.
Okay, so you would agree with the statement that like you need boot camp?
Yeah, it is the foundation.
Okay.
So.
Did you and or your coworkers participate in any social events outside military duties? Like, did you have any personal time at all, and if so, how did you spend that time?
Talking about hanging out or like events? Yeah, I've hung out with a lot of friends. We go out, go on trips to different cities and stuff, and go out and have a good time. And I've been to weddings, friends' weddings, and stuff. So.
Yeah. What about when you were overseas? Did you guys ever have any personal time?
I guess when the work was done for the day, or we were back from a mission, just kind of back relaxing where we were camped out at. We had a lot of downtime to. We had some Wi-Fi hotspots, so we were fortunate enough to have that and stuff, and we rested a lot.
So most of that time, did you spend talking to your families?
Talking to my mom, probably,
and
hanging out, listening to music and stuff.
Okay. When did you leave the military?
I got out in June 2015.
In 2015. When did you come back from Afghanistan?
I got back in September 2012.
Okay, so shortly after that. Why did you decide to leave?
I was originally planning on re-enlisting, but my next duty station was non-deployable. I didn't want to really sit around another 4 years and not go anywhere overseas again, so I decided to get out and start school. Okay,
so you'd rather be deployed than stay in the States and be active. Okay. Is there anything we've left out of your military service that you'd like to tell us about?
No.
Okay. Moving on. What did you do after leaving the Marines?
I got out and I applied to USC Aiken. Got accepted last minute, and also started working at the Wellness Center at USC Aiken.
Okay. What was it like transitioning to civilian life?
Yeah, it was hard.
What do you think would be the hardest part of that?
I guess adjusting to the people. You're so used to a certain, kind of people, and then adjusting back to civilian life after, I guess, being brainwashed.
Mhm. Why did you choose USC Aiken?
It was just localized. It was a close school to where my mom lived, so and I knew they were military friendly, so.
Okay. What is your major?
Exercise science.
Did your military experience have any influence on you choosing this major?
No.
How was the transition from military to college?
Different. It was a different pace. Still, I guess, a little more downtime, I guess, because it breaks between classes and not having to be up as early, but definitely a lot different than what I was used to. Not as physical, more just sedentary stuff.
Yeah. Are there any routines that you picked up on in boot camp that you still follow today? Like maybe getting up at a certain time or doing a certain something every day?
I'd say waking up and making my bed.
You make your bed every day?
Yeah. Not today, but.
And why is that?
Just
out of habit?
Out of habit and keeping things neat and orderly. Just kind of something that was ingrained.
Were you nervous coming to college knowing that most of the kids usually come right out of high school, but that wasn't the case for you?
Didn't really think about kids and stuff.
Do students or professors treat you any differently? Do you feel?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think USC Aiken is a good place to be a student veteran?
Sure.
Is there anything you wish that was different or like incorporated into the university for military personnel?
I think it'd be cool if we had some kind of, I guess a way to get us together and do something, some kind of like training or some kind of PT for like old time's sake for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that'd be something cool.
Is that something you think?
Rather than like a meal or something, or
Yeah.
I mean meals are good too, but not. No.
Is that something you think everyone would enjoy, like even older military personnel?
I would hope so.
Do you think? Okay. Do you know any other veterans on campus?
I know a couple, but I don't think I'm really become friends with any of them because I haven't given myself the opportunity to
get
involve with them. But
Mhm.
I do know a few. They seem like good people. So
Okay. Is it harder to relate to military personnel that like weren't Marines? Like if someone's from the Navy, do you find it harder to relate with them, or is it all like pretty similar?
it's kind of similar, but I don't really judge anybody for being a
Mhm.
different branch. But I feel like they might be more intimidated if they're a different branch. I don't know.
Okay. Do you have more respect for a certain branch than you do others?
No, I respect them all.
Okay. Do you participate in any events on campus?
No,
Do you belong to any clubs?
no.
Do you attend sporting events?
Sometimes when I have free time, I do.
Okay. Which sporting events do you like to attend?
Soccer, volleyball.
Okay. What do you do in your free time besides attending these sporting events?
Free time, probably work out, maybe read, sleep, eat.
Okay. What are your workouts like now compared to what they used to be?
Well, obviously they're on my own time now, so I can do however short or long I want. I've incorporated a lot more swimming. I swim a lot and run and do a lot more calisthenic stuff, so really
Okay.
trying to be functional.
Do you wish that you could still work out with like a drill instructor or anything? You feel like you'd get more out of it?
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
For sure.
Okay. And you said you work at the Wellness Center here at USC again?
I did.
You don't anymore?
I worked there for 2 years.
Did you like that?
It was alright, but I feel like it wasn't a challenging job. It was kind of just a relaxed, I love a relaxed job. I felt like I was doing enough. I had enough responsibility, so
Is that why you left?
yeah.
When do you graduate?
Hopefully 2019.
2019. What are your plans after finishing school?
I haven't really thought any long-term plans. I would like to own a gym one day.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Either back in the military or owning a gym or both.
Both. Okay. If you go back to the military, do you want to be doing the same things you were?
I want to do more.
Do you want to like climb the ranks of military or the Marines?
I'd like to do something, I guess, more prestigious, something more that's going to challenge me more physically and mentally.
Okay. So looking at that, what would be like your dream job if you're gonna still want to be in the Marines? Like, what is the dream title?
I wouldn't go back in the Marines because if I went back in the Marines, I'd only be able to do reserve,
Okay.
and it's really hard to go back active. But I'd want to go the Navy route and do some kind of special operations in the Navy.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap things up?
No, I think that's all.
Thank you for your time, Payton, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.